Two. You look nice. You look nice. Thanks.
Welcome everyone to the 2025 annual Open Board meeting. We're going to call our meeting to order at 6 p.m. Passing it over to Ryan for a welcome message and opening comments.
Great, thank you all for coming. It's been a amazing 2025 thus far. Few things that we're going to kind of talk about and see tonight through the presentation. First off, for all of you that took the annual survey, thank you. It is a very eye-opening conversation with the team, with myself, with our department heads, and I cannot thank you enough for your feedback. That feedback is not going unheard. And we have some new things that we're going to be rolling out here in the next 30, 45 days. That will be getting out to all November. So those of you that took the time, we really appreciate that. Fiscal stability has been one of the big keys now in 3.5 years of being here. How do we get the club back in a really good place financially? Rich is going to chat a little bit about that tonight. But very pleased to say that the club is still in a really good current year financial spot, as well as our cash on hand. Course conditions continue to improve. I need to thank Derek, who's here. Thank you for all of your hard work. Which is some of our big focus, and his team, especially during the transition time, I can't thank you enough for all of their monthly new member orientation for new members that are in the room. Thank you for joining us for that. Hopefully we were able to answer some of those questions. It's about an hour event. Drake and Karina, thank you for making those happen each month, and the department heads for being at each one of those. So for the members in the room, we each have a part in this. They get to meet all the department heads. We get to talk about everything related to golf, i.e. where to drive your golf cart, where not to drive your golf cart, how to fix ball marks. Dan, we do talk about that all the time.
Right.
So huge thank you to Drake and that team. We've made some huge progress as we release membership, which we hear about that tonight. Food members and membership, for food members and our member social events, it's very well attended this year. So thank you all for supporting and being part of that. We had a goal a year and a half ago that we're going to do 4 social events a year. And happy to say that we're continuing our 4 social events a month. I'm sorry. Happy to say that we've continued on that run, and it's been a lot of fun to see all the faces at each one of those events. And welcome to Chef Fabian. I think he's still in the back, but Chef joining our team as of late. Thank you, Tony, and the entire food members team for everything that they do for all those social events and our day-to-day operations. We have a few other projects that are currently in the planning stage through our property facilities group. Some clubhouse restroom renovation, locker room renovations. Those are coming soon. So excited for you to see some of that. And then range project is progressing. You get to hear a little bit more tonight from John and Audie, our project managers. So thank you both for being here. Obviously, this can't be done without the entire team. So I need to personally thank the entire team for being here. Eddie, who I never talked about on our financial side, Kevin and his team for everything that we do on the golf side. So thank you all. Enjoy the evening, and I'm going to turn this back over to Dan.
Good evening, I'm Dan O'Malley. Yeah. And I'm going to introduce, first of all, our board of directors. But before I do, I want to know, anybody been here longer than 30 years? Show of hands. Okay. Those have been here for over 30 years, that's wonderful. How many people have been here for less than 5 years? Okay, well, so we're looking forward to you. There was a nice blend on the board. In the 35 years I've been here, but it still remains the same. So you have friends like Dean and Howie and Tom and Joan and whatnot. We all can still have a discussion in the bar that gets a little uncomfortable, I'll say. But at the end, we all have common goals. So a couple of things, if I can introduce, first of all, the president, Mike Tuliatos. And I want to say a couple of words about Mike, and I won't do that with the rest of you. But Mike is a wonderful, wonderful guy. Comes out of a finance background. As a president, this group here, we had some contentious meetings, to say the least. And probably representing different interests, just like you might have different interests. And Mike kept us all kind of corralled and got us back on the focus of what is, which are responsibility to you folks, not responsibility to our individuals or to myself or to any committee that I may be on, but to everyone. And I applauded him for that. And we started out as acquaintances, we become great friends. So Mike Tuliatos last year, please give him a round of applause. Again, I'm Dan O'Malley. To my left is Richie Adams. He's been treasurer this year, and he's got one more year on the board. Say hello to Richie. Nancy Vanoli, and the director, and she'll be making a presentation shortly. A great friend of many, many years, Debbie Pellegrini. Pete Shulman, and Pete has brought his expertise from his profession here, and a great resource for all of us. The tallest, most handsome guy in the room. He never disagrees. And my great friend at the end, Amy Roach, who works double time on that one. Where do you go? There it is. We lean forward. And John Walls had to come in and pinch hit for somebody who abandoned ship. And he came on board, and kind of Rex hit him hard. He's been trying to take care of range projects, trying to be a great director. And he's on his way out, but we owe him an apology for always writing letters, but we owe him gratitude for all the work he's done. Results of the election came in, and it's unanimous. We have 33 new directors, which will start in the first of the year. You'll stand up and just take a look and give a wave to everybody. For Gary Sproul. Somewhere. Right there. My great friend John Solomon.
Okay, quickly back to the agenda. So this is part of a normal board meeting, so a couple of business items to get through before we start the committee presentations. So first we have our items covered through consent agenda. The board has reviewed these items ahead of the meeting, so this is confirmed before you vote. Any board members opposed to the consent agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda passes. There are no items requiring board action at tonight's meeting. So at this point, we'll pass it over to items requiring board discussion, which is a 2026 operating budget progress update from Ryan.
So the budget is going quite well. Department heads have submitted all of their budgets. We've now got them rolled into the large budget. Now we're starting to kind of go into the deep dive. So the goal would be to have something out to finance committee next week, and then to board for approval in the November.
And if I could introduce Bill O'Brien, who's Vice President of True Corporation. He's been working double time coming into our consulting advice, give us all the resources. So he's flown in from, if I recall, from Utah, Las Vegas, and heading to LA, but he's got a good stop for us. He's preparing.
Thank you, Mr. O'Malley. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
As Dan mentioned, Senior Vice President Operations, work in our Irvine office located in Southern California, and I've been doing that for the better part of 12 years. And I've been coming to your club for the better part of the decade. It's been really nice to watch its evolution since, I think, what was that, John, maybe 2015? And I'm humbled to be here tonight. I got just a few minutes to talk a little bit about the member survey. Not too many slides. There were over 300 of you who responded to the survey. And I'll give you some perspective on my takeaways and certainly management's takeaways. You'll recall that the Net Promoter Score is essentially how willing you are to recommend your club to a friend or family on a scale of 1 to 10. Folks who give a 9 or a 10 are promoters. Folks who do 0 to 6 are detractors. And those who respond 7 or 8 are passive. Your Net Promoter Score this year was 44. That's actually quite better than the average in terms of those who've taken the survey in our company. Having said that, when you look a little further into the numbers, you've got quite a few folks who are rather passive. And when you compare that number to historical trends, there are more people, I would say, who are on the fence this year in terms of their attitudes than in previous years. Simultaneously, you also have fewer detractors. And as you can imagine, fewer detractors, more passives, mean you got a few less promoters. So the work for Ryan and the team and for myself is to understand what those passive members were saying about their experience and how we can get them into that spot where they're more likely to promote the club. Now, members have said very loudly that you're proud to be a country club. Of all who took the survey, 96% said you're proud to be a member. That's pretty cool. Job well done. So when I look at the survey results, I try to analyze 2 things. 1, what's important? And then 2, how satisfied are you relative to what's important? And the single most important thing the members who took the survey was the quality of leadership that runs the club. And that includes management and that includes the board. Obviously, golf is important, but also dining. You can kind of see where these scores shake out. Now, in most cases, I like to see these numbers start with an 8. Got golf down here at 74, dining at 76, leadership and staff at 76. And so they still compare relatively favorable to most other clubs, but the opportunity obviously in the management aspect of performance and the golf department is where we're going to put our energies this year. Again, I believe management is professional and proficient. That number is lower than we like it to be. Over 700 comments were made in the survey, and the themes that came out of those comments clearly are not lost on us. But there's a lot of good stuff too. Again, notwithstanding the challenges in some of the results relative to certain areas, maybe the condition of bunkers, the practice facilities, the variety of retail, people feel really good about the golf team. Golf staff professionalism, golf staff friendliness. But clearly we need to make some inroads on the golf course relative to bunkers, pace of play, attention to detail. So what's next? The way I look at it is really kind of 3 things. Number 1, let's get the range project done. I know you folks have been patient. It's not uncommon for a multi-million-dollar enterprise like this to have some starts and stops. Let's get the range project done. Number 2, let's enhance the golf experience. I think Kevin and his team have some great ideas, making sure that that arrival experience, all the different touch points throughout the experience, show to each of you that we're really proud that you're here and that we want to exceed your expectations. And then lastly, management. We need to work on transparency. We need to work on the frequency of communication. We have some confidence to restore that was evident to us. And I think Ryan and the team have already started putting together a really cool Contra Costa Cares program that they're going to be excited to roll out here in short order. So we heard what you said. It's not going to be lost on us. It's going to be our compass as we go forward. And we're going to be focused on that golf experience and that management and leadership transparency. Thank you. I just want to quickly thank Bill. As president of the club, he has been an invaluable resource to myself, to the entire board. He's probably talked to me more often than he planned on coming into the year, but I've absolutely used him as a sounding board throughout the entire year, and I can't say enough good things. Every time we have a difficult discussion, he provided valuable feedback. Every time we have a good discussion, so I really appreciate all of your time. So.
Now for the committee reports, presentations. First of all, my great friend Richard Adams, treasurer, and will be giving the finance report.
You don't need it, Richard.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam. You're right, I am. So anyway, I just want to say before I start is thank you to everybody who came today, took the time out of your busy schedules and away from your families and friends to come here and support us and support the club. It's awesome to see everybody here and it's a great turnout as always. So again, thank you for you guys for being great members, and we're real honored to be able to serve you guys. So again, thanks. I want to also thank my committee. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So Adam Ferrer, Adam's been the chair for quite many years now, and he's just a fabulous chair for our committee, really knowledgeable, incredible person to work with, and I just want to say thanks. Dan Kelleher, sitting back over there, former president, also phenomenal, has just a lot to offer, really knowledgeable. Jack Unruh, James Vanderbeek, Charlie Campbell, and Leo Campanelli. I don't think Leo's here, but just a phenomenal committee, and they make our job easy, make my job easy, and they keep our money safe. So thanks, guys. Great job. So if you look at the screen, you'll see 2022, we had a net loss of $231,000. 2023, we had net income of $302,000. 2024, $199,000, and this year to date, $223,000. So we're doing really, really well. We've had a lot of projects going on, but we continue to stay in the black, and it's a real positive thing that we've done here. So the positive gains are made up of the fall. We had $100,000 in additional revenue this year over the prior year. Also manage what you can control. Anyone who's owned a company knows payroll is really expensive, labor is expensive. So we control that, and controlling overtime. Those are two of the big factors in us having a positive increase this year. So thank you to all the budget heads that do a really great job. Key issues: budget was created by each department head, and this created accountability. So each department is accountable to the board, to the finance committee. We keep a good eye on that, so they're doing a great job. As everybody knows, inflation continues to have a major impact on a number of our items, but we have been able to adapt. Food supplies, fertilizer, fuel, equipment, things like that, they have gone up tremendously. But working with the vendors, we've been able to control costs and bringing in new vendors who are working with us to keep them, below where they were before. So we're doing a really good job. Ryan and the team are doing a great job on that. So thank you. The balance sheet is clean. It's managed on a monthly basis. Oh, sorry, guys. All right, you're in charge. Operating expenses are under control. The good news is we're continuing the trend this year in 2025, and the outlook is really, really good for 2026. Current state of the club's in very strong financial condition. We have a very healthy balance sheet. As of September 2025, our cash balance is $3.1 million. This is an increase over last year from what we had at this point. Club has invested $875,000 of our cash into the Range project and still managed to increase our cash balance. We have a wait list of 42 members. We have a relatively low amount of debt as compared to our peers, great relationship with our bank, and strong financial manager in place. And we have an active committee and board who does a great job. So again, thank you to those folks, and thank you to you guys for being here today and supporting me.
That was really exciting. Now I'm doing gloom over here. Just kidding. For those of you who don't know me, I'm John Kramer. I'm doing my normal do the days I come out here, but my wife and I have been proud members here. And I think everybody here is proud of this club. And we've been members since 2017. And this year, I'm wrapping up my rookie year here as on the board. So as a rookie, I get to get a nice golf report. First of all, thank you to all of our members and the board for the continued support of the golf committee. I think this is one of the most important committees out there because it really impacts play, basically play and the course itself. So it's been a pretty strong year, although there's always work in progress. This year was marked by shared commitment by improving the overall golf experience for our members. That is our core, my core commitment on being on this golf committee is improving golf experience. So here's your golf committee on the board there, and I just want to shout out a couple people. Kristen Molenberg, our chair, she runs a tight committee. The other is my co-board liaison is Debbie Pelican. She does everything. She is amazing, and it's well beyond the golf committee. She does. I'm never resource guy and all these other things, but I really look up to you, Debbie. Thank you for all your efforts. And all the other committee members that you can see on the board there, they volunteer all their hours in finding everything from the tee sheet access to the golf calendar to junior golf. And the one best part of you can see the people that are on that list is how well we work across the golf associations. All associations are represented on this committee. So we collaborate, we work together, we help balance the access to the golf course for the members with the opportunity for engagement for all the members. I believe this committee is the heartbeat of the member experience. And I thank everybody who's on the committee for all the efforts. We also have some subcommittees that work on handicap tournaments and junior golf. These volunteer members are always looking out for our members' best interest. And of course, we couldn't do without the golf staff and the training management team. Thank you guys for your help. Your insights are always appreciated. Under our head pro, Kevin Chen's leadership, the golf department continues to grow and develop team skills and focus on member satisfaction. You see there's a word there I'm using a lot, member satisfaction. We're proud of all of our assistant professionals and their advancing to the PGA Golf Management Program, which is very important. It's really helping us develop the next generation of golf leaders here at Concord. This year, thank you. This year, our focus has been about developing programs that enhance our service and make it a consistent offering to our members. We launched the Member Service Excellence Program, having some clear standards for member interaction, including we'll talk about all the touch points along the course arrival, and hopefully getting your clubs clean at the end of the round. We also welcome John Nevin, our new member services manager. This role will be very key to our member satisfaction. Well, welcome aboard, John. And I heard a rumor that you, for the first few days, went about 100,000 steps. Is that all right? 100,000. So for the chef is we got to make sure he's carb loaded up before his next shift. So we also implemented the member shuttle. We're getting the shuttle, which is great, making it easier and safer to get around the club during peak times from the parking lot to the clubhouse and people to the range. And it's really been helpful. And hopefully these small touches will help make better experience. Play and participation, our rounds are up. This is what I love about this club. It's a golfers country club, and we use it. And we should use it. And I appreciate everyone that does use it. So I have to thank Derek back there, that keeps this course in great condition for all the use that we have. Great job, Derek. Target, just remember, that's just the target. You can put it faster. The handicap committee also rolled out a cap patrol to improve handicap integrity and fairness in tournaments. And the golf committee is now finalizing our 2026 golf calendar. Better communication to the association, we're able to balance the events and maximize member access. In junior golf, one of the bright highlights this year is junior golf. Thanks to Gary Brown and his efforts with the junior golf program team. Country Park stars, you probably try start in first. Just saying. Also, the PGA Junior League grew to over 50 players, the largest roster ever. So that means we've got some youth coming through, which is great. And we have a junior merit class. We recognize several of the local youth leaders who are active in Contra Costa, and they volunteer for all of our junior games. And a special recognition to Jaden. Jaden Dukamaya, he's now at USC playing golf. And I think he's the middle one player. He was recently named the Big Ten Player of the Week for tournament play out in Texas. Pretty impressive. So it's really exciting to see the next generation of golfers riding represented so well. All right, looking ahead to 2026. We're focused on equitable access to the course, continuing to enhance their services and professional growth for our golf staff team. Going forward, we're looking to getting John Bevan more carbs, I guess, to get around the course and get up to speed. That sounds like fully entrenched in it. We're establishing a first tee starter more consistently during peak hours, hopefully to help support pace of play, communication with members and their guests on expectations and club rules going forward. Improve tee sheet access, including monitoring and enforcing sometimes no-shows, that's kind of a problem out there. So we're looking into some of those things. I like what Bill said, let's get that range done, right? Let's get it done. We're gonna have a great teaching center out there. This thing is going to be best in class for sure. So the teaching center and club fitting center, so that'll be really nice for the service too. And then to continue emphasis on development of golf department skills. And then down the road, there will be at some point of a golf shop refresh, flooring fixtures, design, and just upgrading the facility itself. So in closing, 2025 is about raising the standard of member services. 2026, I think, will be about execution. We're launching into new programs, improving the access to members, expanding all the member services. So thank you again to our members, to our golf team, the Truman and the board. It's going to be fantastic going forward. Appreciate it.
And now Peter Truman with their green committee.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to stand here a little bit because we got some slides, some picture slides to show. My name's Pete Schumann. I'm the chair of the Green Committee. I've been doing it for almost 3 years now, and I really enjoy it. It fits well with my background, as Dan mentioned. A lot of expertise, asset management, spent a bunch of years at Contra Costa Water District. The Green Committee fits really well with me. We have 10 on the committee. And really represents a good cross section of members and associations. I think we've got at least one Derek Peacock here. He's on the Green Committee, he's been there for a number of years. And a couple of board member liaisons. So it's a very good committee, very active. We try and meet about once a month for the most part. And we meet down at the maintenance facilities, which is nice down there. We're well activity is. The team, we mentioned Derek. Welcome, Derek. He's been here almost 4 months now. It probably seems like a lot longer. He's been doing a great job. I think the main priorities for my seat have been staffing. He's had a lot of challenges on staffing. He's done a really good job kind of getting his core team together. His leadership team, Brian Letton, he's been here for a bit. He really was kind of the glue during the transition. And you see him around, of course, everywhere. New guy, Ken Shaw, he's very active, all over the place. He's run projects and he's been a great asset to the team. And then the assistant mechanic, Andrew Rios. You can't operate this kind of operation without a high quality mechanic and all the equipment that Derek done a good job. They've got 22, I think, on the team, right? 22 right now, with a budget for 24, so we can get all the positions filled here soon. All right, in terms of goals and objectives, the three main goals, and I'm gonna highlight some of the key objectives, but three main goals: through consistency of the putting greens. Obviously, those are the big asset for us, and everybody's got, you know, thoughts and comments about the green, but I would say from my perspective, Derek and his team have done a really good job addressing this right away with some of these practices since we've come in. Improved course presentation, that not only the golf course, but also includes the clubhouse area, and we efforts on that recently. And also improved turf grass uniformity and soil health across all of our fairways for the team. I think some of the key objectives, I'm just not going to go over all of them, but highlight some. The aerifications. A lot of folks, you know, have strong feelings about aerifications when you punch the green, but it's absolutely critical to long-term health and viability of our greens. So while it is a little bit painful, it is critical because we hit those 3 a year. We just came through one. I think they healed up quite well, and the greens are just about, I think, I don't know if Jared can weigh in, but that's normal. Hand watering has become much more important. They're just not dumping water on there just because the clock, the irrigation clock is turned on. So they're using more technology around the greens, and I think that technology also lends itself to the fairways as well. So I think we can look at the technology to do some of that. And then I think one of the big things he's done is the frequency of the top dressing. Bird cutting of the greens, especially that bird cutting. I know I've noticed that difference since he's come in and the benefits attached to our green. In terms of the course presentation, I mentioned the clubhouse, and I'll be spending some time around the clubhouse working with Kathy Worthington. She's been helping out on that, which has been great. Staff training, doing a lot of staff training there, and I know I get a lot of comments. Everybody could probably have questions later about it, the bunker playability. We all know we have definitely some challenges with our bunkers. They are getting to at least the Billy bunker system, kind of getting to the end of its useful life. We're going to have to address that, but that is definitely a key item, and I know Derek can spend time budgeting for that. We'll be making that a priority here going forward. And then in terms of the turf grass uniformity, I think the main thing I want to highlight there is the warm season grasses, and I have some pictures of this. Is making sure that we're getting on top of that. You've seen the patches around the golf course, and I'll show you some pictures of on 14. Thank you. This is some of the trials we went over on 14. Not only were they looking at different products to deal with the warm season grasses, but different ways to regenerate the grass afterwards, sodding, seeding. So that was kind of a focus area. And then you saw there's patches around the golf course, and this is a key item. This is not just going to be a silver bullet to make it all go away. It's going to be ongoing maintenance practices and budgeting to control. I'd say really the word there is control the warm season grasses and not let them go. Projects, and these guys have really done a great job on projects. Just a couple to highlight here. I think everybody's seen the new Acorn 1T on 7, which is great. That our contractor came here and knocked it out, and I think it's a great new asset for the course. And then a 9 During the shutdown, these guys went to town in there. Since the ravine on 9, you probably noticed beforehand, it wasn't looking so great. There's some drainage issues in there, so they cleaned up the drainage. They discovered some, I think an old maintenance road, some of you have been around for a long time, maybe you know about it, but dug up some asphalt in there. Which makes it obviously very difficult to go grass on top of asphalt. But anyway, they got that out of there and put in some drainage, probably almost a half an acre of sod, something along that line. So it was quite a bit of work that we did for that. And then last one I want to highlight 5T. Great job up there. We sodded that. It's much bigger. It's added some, extra yardage from Acorn 4T on that hole, and really a nice improvement. Plus the sandbox, the little divot repair boxes you put out there, I think that helped too on some of the parts. And then I think the last one here is the new putting green. It's part of the range project. Obviously there was some frustration in terms of how long it took to get it in play, but definitely been worth the wait. It was decided many moons ago to sod versus seed, and unfortunately when sod came, it was had a little bit excessive thatch in it. You see up in the upper right hand corner, it's kind of an organic matter, and it just made it very spongy. I think people would have been not very happy if we had rushed to open it, so I think it's been worth the wait. If you haven't been down there, it's absolutely fantastic. It rolls amazing, very firm, and I think it's going to be a great asset. And that's it.
Manoli and hospitality.
Clearly, I don't know how to use the microphone. Is that one on? Okay. Hi, I'm Nancy Manoli, and I am on the hospitality committee. I know Pete spoke to why he was a great candidate for the Greens Committee with his background and work, but I just like food and drink, so that's what makes me an expert for the hospitality committee. My committee is John Sala, our chair, has been a chair for a long time, Danita Stevens, Andrea Nakagaki, Elise Donahue, and Nick Rocha. Tony has now been with us like about a year and a half now, so I think that we can all attest to the standard of food and beverage and building his team. We can all see that it's improved over the year and a half for sure. And we welcome this year, just a month ago, 2 weeks ago, Chef Fabian. He's previously, there he is. He is well-known in the industry as a great team builder. He's already, you've seen that, and we'll see that in the back of the kitchen where he's already promoted some guys who are doing great work back there. He's really dedicated to curating a menu that's specific to Contra Costa and gives us a little bit of a identity in terms of dining. And I know as Richie spoke to the budget, Chef has already reduced quite a bit of our food costs. He has wonderful relationships with purveyors in the industry, and so he's been able to really cut costs already. So that's a big plus. We focused on club aesthetics this year. You'll see our new table toppers on the dining room tables, the salt and pepper shakers, awning on the patio, flowers, different things like that. Huge events this year. The Centennial Gala was an amazing production of staff and of course so many volunteers, member volunteers. Other large scale events, of course, our 4th of July and Play for Pink. 4th of July, we have over 1,100 people at this year, and they say they want to get more. So We introduced the Kids Eat Free on Wednesdays, Wednesday nights program. They have to be with an adult. They can't just come in. Chef just introduced our steakhouse dinings Thursday through Sunday, special focusing on a different steak each evening. Tony and his team updated the pricing for all of our banquets for outside members and outside events, or not members, outside groups and member events. That was desperately needed, and now they can really go and promote having weddings or other events here, knowing that the pricing is, with, industry standard, and that we will not lose money on those events. So that's been kind of a behind the scenes, not real exciting or sexy type of improvement, but well worth it in terms of budgeting. Coffee and pastries are in the in the golf shop 3 days a week. Coffee's there 6 days a week. So adding back some of those amenities, those of you who've been around for a long time, we always had the big coffee bar downstairs, but adding it back this way. We've introduced live music a couple of times a month in those warmer months, and people have enjoyed that. We always try to use the patio out here behind us, but inevitably we'll plan a music event and it ends up being, windy or 40 degrees in the middle of summer. So that's been inconsistent, but it's one of those things we all want to use more, but it's so weather dependent. It's been tricky. And we have our new soft serve machine in the bunker. Get all your flavors on the floor. I was really good. This year, Tony and his team put on many new events: Valentine's dinner and wine class, karaoke night, Girl Scout cookies, kids pizza, mother-daughter spa, Bastilia wine dinner. They cleaned out their cellars, wine sale, scotch and cigar dinner, chili tasting in the boat, and chili #1 is the winner. The secret ingredients are ground chuck and andouille sausage.
Yes.
And then this past weekend, the 49er party, as well as multiple Santa brunches. So these were events that were newer this year that, of course, were in addition to our Easter and our other events that we've done historically for years. So Tony and his team, along with the committee, we've started to brainstorm for next year, and they'll start to work on November where to put these events in the calendar. So keeping some of these that were successful, and then rolling out some that didn't have the same participation we were hoping for, and replacing those with and goals. I guess next. Thank you. Our goals and objectives are just to continue with the consistency in food and service. We want to always increase our member engagement at dinner. So that's, of course, we serve dinner Thursday through Sunday at the club. And I think that Chef's new entree menu is really helping to boost our evening dinner engagement. Still say they're crazy, but they still want to continue to bring more people into 4th of July, over 1,100, and enhance that experience. It's we're known for that being such a wonderful event here at Contra Costa. So always looking for ways to improve that. We do want to make sure that we're implementing more surveys next year in terms of dining and events, and that if you just had a regular evening here at the club and you were dining, we hope to get a survey out to you, like how was it, how was the staff, what was the quality of the food, or a special event. So we're looking at more of those in 2026 because those are important to the staff in terms of the feedback that they need. Communication, we just want to make sure that everybody knows about the events that the staff and everybody's working hard to put on. Tony's looking at getting a TV for the grill that will just be advertisement. And then, of course, using text messaging, and then the Thursday emails that highlight all of the food and beverage events. And then hopefully, the 2026 will have an initiative to everybody to update their online profile with phone numbers and emails and a picture, because the staff really does, especially the dining staff, uses our picture when they type in our orders and our member numbers, and that really helps them to get to know us. So Tony and I have come up with some campaign to get everybody to do that, and maybe there'll be an incentive. a free drink. We'll see. So, I think it's been a great food and beverage year, and I think we'll continue to see improvements and enjoy all of Chef's wonderful food. Thank you.
Deputy Amy Rose regarding membership.
These wonderful. Appreciate it. I'm just gonna do a quick update. Quick update on the membership committee, which continues to focus on further engagement and strengthening our club community. Our club committee is myself and Becky, as board liaisons with Rick and Karina, helping from the staff. Mike, John, Nadar, Colin, John, and Anna have all been part of this wonderful team. This year, we had set clear goals to strengthen the golf wait list, increase our social membership, and maintain a steady growth across all categories. We successfully brought the golf wait list to a peak of 46, and currently are sitting at 42, as mentioned by Richie. This year, Drake broke the record he set last year with a net plus 15 members, which is amazing. Man continues to outpace expectations, confirming that we are a valid position. So as of today, through October, we've sold 21 social memberships, making this our second largest year ever in that category. We also achieved 26 golf waitlist sales with continued interest from prospects. Well done. The team has worked hard to increase engagement across the membership base. We've added family-friendly events, personalized milestone letters for members, and made a point to be present and visible around the clubhouse, listening, learning, and ensuring members feel heard. These personal touches continue to strengthen our community. External communications and campaigns. Beyond social media, increased visibility through social or local press, city chamber partnership, and true channels. A new pay-per-click landing page allows us to track and ad performance. Please, as members, do not click on this though, because it counts against us. We've also hosted engagement events like pool parties and waitlist happy hours to keep our prospective members involved in the event. As a result of our strong membership demand and retentions, we raised the initiation fee from $35,000 in 2022 to $60,000 in 2025, a 71% increase over 3 years. That growth demonstrates the club's healthy position and exceptional value members associate with experience. This slide is hard to read, so I'm going to put so much. We're now using data more effectively to manage membership funnel, tracking monthly leads, tours, preview rounds, and conversions. This transparency helps us refine coverage and identify where we can improve conversion rates. The result shows consistent and active interest throughout the year. Drake's tour conversion rate is 53%. Yeah. 644, which includes 421 mandatory members, 30 junior executive members, 11 lifetime members, and 134 social members. The sustained growth reflects our strong retention and the quality of the member experience. Looking ahead, we'll continue the momentum by deepening engagement, refining marketing and analytics, and expanding onboarding and retention. We're also planning more family-focused initiatives and outreach to ensure proper prospect club remains the community's pay destination for golf and community. In short, it's been a strong year for membership and
Okay, so I'm gonna take over Centennial Committee, as this committee starts to wind down. There's a few people we can actually show next slide. We're good. A few people that I definitely want to recognize. For our Centennial Wall, Pam and George, I don't know that either one of them are here, but they have put in so much time. So many of you may or may not know, but back in the, if I remember my history correct, every historical item for the club was held in the secretary's garage at his house. And that garage burned down. So everything that is on that wall, they have had to go out and find and recreate to the original piece. So there's so much work that's gone in to that site. So a huge thank you to Pam George for everything that's done. I don't see Andrea, but Danita, please stand. That went into putting on the gala was just absolutely amazing. It was about as perfect of a night as we can get. Sorry, Gary. About as perfect of a night as we can get. And for all of you that were able to attend, thank you for being here. Super. I mean, I literally have goosebumps thinking about how that went that night. Historical articles, unfortunately, Sherry and Rich can't be here, but the amount of time that went into finding the history, writing the history, working with current members, former members, interviews, they have put so much time and effort into it. So huge thank you for Rich and Terry. Mike, Beth Doyle and Drake, thank you. These are things that we're going to use over the years. Mike will get to write his when his time is done. But being able to kind of keep that history alive is a really important thing. So thank you. Because Mr. Standard, please stand. Huge thank you to Stella. Huge thank you to them for all the time and effort that went in. Our team, Karina, I can't thank you enough for all of the effort that went in. And you guys did a good job to take off, getting the finances together, making sure that we stayed in budget, making sure that all of the funds were collected. And with that, we reached just over $54,000 this year, which is second largest ever. So huge thank you. In the 12 years of our giving, we are just over $246,000 that we have donated to breast cancer research. We are by far the largest events in the Bay Area, and we're going to continue this moving forward. So, Don, thank you for your support, and looking forward to you doing it next year.
Director Manoli is a mulligan when it comes to property and facility.
Oh, I get it. Okay, sorry to do it. John Sala is our chair of the Properties and Facilities Committee as well. And our newest board member, Gary's sitting next to him. So we're gonna have to maybe think about this committee next year since there's 3 board members on it, but it's a great team. I see Joe Spiegler's here tonight. Anybody else though? All right. This year we spent about $75,000 in the kitchen on upgrades and repairs and things like that. The chairs that you're sitting on are new, so we upgraded our banquet chairs. The on-course bathrooms were refreshed on hole 6 and 13, so new coating over the tiles and sinks and countertops and all that's been refreshed. in the pool area, we upgraded the water pressure. You couldn't get a hot shower if you wanted one. And the internet at the pool has also been updated. The internet, the whole club has been updated. We're on the Starlink. And then also the Sonos Music speaker system has also been installed in the club all around. You can hear the music. We've updated the signage on the property. That just went in last week. You see it around. You see a lot of private property signs as you enter. Careful to watch for the golf cart crossing and others in the parking lot and at the range. So those have all been put in. We updated our security camera system, and actually a lot of that work happened last week. You saw the big alarm company trucks here. And then of course we upgraded all of the feed and sandboxes and water coolers and all those different things, trash cans. We've gone with a product that's not wood, so it will hopefully last a lot longer. We don't have to refinish it. And then as we look to 2026, we have engaged a design team out of Benicia, Larev, and they are familiar with commercial design. And so our the first project that they have designed for us are the grill bathrooms over here. And once we get to see our budget, once all those numbers come in, we'll sort of see if we have money to do these bathrooms over here. They would be essentially matching. And then they'll start with the plans for the locker room. So they're keeping in mind the products that they use have to be hold up for a long time. The colorway should not be trendy. They're making sure that our tiles have any traction, so they're not slippery. So all of those factors are going into the design. So the picture on the left is some of the materials that have been selected. And then the rendering on the right, sort of a drawing mock-up of what it could look like. So it's hard to see in this, but I'm happy to show you other pictures after the meeting if anybody's interested. So we're waiting for, we have the materials out to several contractors right now. We're waiting on bids for that. And then once we get those numbers, along with final budget numbers, we'll be able to make a plan of when we can move forward. So that's hopefully a 2026 project. And then locker room would be after that, once we see the colorway and which products we would take from these bathrooms down in the middle. That's it for me.
I'm involved to make two presentations, one on strategic planning, and then you'll evolve right into the range project. John?
So I'm the chair several years of strategic planning, along with Paul Jansen, who's listed twice because he does twice the word. Dave Ray, from management of mine. So then the next slide here, when President Mike asked me to update the slides for this year's annual meeting and started with last year's slide, I said, well, nothing's changed because we really hasn't done a whole lot. The club's strategy that we've had for several years is we're a golf club and a country club market. We've got golfers, we've got a great golf course, so we continue to invest in maintaining the golf and the player development programs. And then we also seek to use our capital funds to maintain and improve the other member amenities. I think everyone on the strategic planning committee feels like the club's in a really good place. As you've heard already, the club is very strong financially. We have a full membership. We have a waiting list to join, which is quite a big deal over a few years ago. Our initiation fees up to the 60,000 level that we had modeled. And, we just have a great team here at the club. So the new strategy is steady as we go. We're doing the right things. The club's in a strong position. We'll just keep it going. So for our new board members and the returning board members, steady as we go. Next update on the range project. So I'm the board member who gets to ride herd on this whole thing, sign contracts and yell at people and move the city along. More recently, we've brought on board a professional property manager, Danny Grunchev, who's in the back there. Hi, Sam. Quite a bit for Carl Campos on a number of projects and came highly recommended. Speaking of Carl, Carl has done outstanding work for the club. Nice. Hasn't charged us a penny, and we've gotten a whole lot of value out of all that. So yeah, thank you so much, Carl. So, just in terms of the overall project, when the driving range was getting ready to open, and the city said, well, no, you can't open it yet, we're actually open for days and stuff. We said, well, we always told you we wanted to open the driving range as the first phase. I said, well, what is your phasing plan? So we have a five-phase plan. Phase one was the driving range and the large practice green. Phase two is where we're at now. And that is basically what I'll just call all the civil infrastructure, all the rebar, concrete, grading. The bathtub is full of dirt down there, but a lot. It's called the bioretention facility. You know what those are. So just a lot of stuff that's going in, all the electrical conduits, working with PG&E. We have, I think we've counted 6 agencies that we have to deal with inspectors. And so I went back and looked at the frequently asked questions from a couple of years ago when we were proposing this project. And we said, well, we don't think we need a project manager because this one's going to be similar. And that was the one thing that stood out to me. Most frequently asked questions that was not correct. Anyway, so what's upcoming that's member facing? So we will finish phase 2, we hope here in the middle of November. And then the city will then, even though they have issued all of the permits, they will then activate the permits so that we can actually start work and get request inspections and things like that. So the training center is currently under construction in Texas. I don't know why. Texas couldn't get any California certified building inspectors. I have no explanation for that. That's the governor. But anyway, so we're working to speed that up. But it is complete. It's just working on the interiors and all that. We have to get it inspected by someone in Texas before it gets out here. As you know, you have to have an inspector look at everything before you cover the walls, put in furniture, equipment, and all that stuff. But we don't want to have to take it apart when it gets there. So that's this is the same rendering that we've been showing for years. It will look like this. It'll have really nice siding on it with those colors. It'll have double doors going both directions out to the range and out to the short gate. The next thing is the bar. So just so everyone knows, it is a shipping container. 8 feet by 40 feet, just like you see on the boats. This is what it looks like on the left at the factory in Arizona. This one's fully complete, inspected, ready to deliver. And we will finish it as it shows there on the right with the same siding and colorways as the practice center. So it'll look nice. This one that shows up and it has to sit there for a few weeks while we work with the sewer department on connecting the sewer and with the health department bringing in the equipment that has to go in there. That will be something that we'll have to occur over 3 weeks. Finally, we're going to beautify the lower lot. We have had over the years a long history of storing sand, gravel, trash dumpsters, old equipment, all kinds of other things that were just not very sightly down by the lower lot. As part of the project in creating the large putty green, we said, no, we have to have a new and a better place for our materials. The blocks that you see out there today, that is the standard cost-efficient construction method for material golf courses. So it's not anything that we made up. We have the plan for that in terms of what you see today with the block designs that was approved by the city and the planning commission. So the plan is the plan. We have to execute the plan. We also have approved landscaping. I believe it's 7 mature trees and a number of shrubs. Kathy Worthington also graciously donated their time to help us with that landscaping plan. We'll have professional drip irrigation, all that stuff, and it will grow in and it will
look much nicer over a period of time. These are AI generated renderings. In terms of the overall project, where everyone wants to hear, we believe we're still on budget. The budget we had is the 3.2 million, although the under approval vote was for 3.5 million. We've currently spent about 2/3 of that, and just about 850,000 remaining, and that will carry us through. And so I'll turn it back over here to President Mike or Vice President Dan, and we'll close the meeting, and afterwards, if there's questions, may I have people.
Thank you, John. So, anybody remember the movie The King Mutiny? Humphrey Bogart was obsessed with the strawberry. Strawberry. So I got kind of a King Mutiny problem myself, and I'm obsessed with ball marks. Yeah. And people that treat one another poorly in the club. We're so privileged to be here. Now, I know everybody in this room and everybody has been nothing but professional, courteous, fun with one another. But when you hear these stories about people fighting and arguing, screaming, calling the management team and telling them how to run their job and things like that. In 1994, I turned to 1990. In 94, I was in charge and had to rewrite all the bylaws. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing, so I went to the law. And the one language that I wrote that I remember daily, and it had gone to the Court of Appeals, the State Court of Appeals, this language, and it said, member behavior that is prejudicial to the goodwill of this club and its members and to the reputation of the club. And that is to say that if you start treating people poorly, if you violate the rules, if you start deciding you're going to micromanage this place, then you go to the standards committee. It's unprofessional. And because it violates the bylaws. And so I looked at the bylaws this week, it's still there. I'm very happy about that. And we just have to remind them. This room, it doesn't apply. The people care so much that you're here today, so thank you all very much. But if you see that kind of behavior, please let us know. Let's go ahead and remind ourselves how lucky we are that we're playing in this beautiful place that we paid a lot of money to. And, look down the street at people less fortunate than us. As we go into next year, this board, we welcome transparency. We welcome holding us responsible. We welcome dialogue, and we challenge you to hold us responsible. We're volunteers, we hold us. And I know the management team, especially Ryan's been open up to have these bi-monthly or bi-weekly meetings. Any questions, all open game. And so we're going to challenge you, or invite you to comment if you have problems. You talk to Ryan. Don't go to the baby and say, change this menu or something like this. Would be inappropriate. But this board is wide open to hear any constructive criticism. And the greatest answer, I think, when Marty was talking last Sunday, is that it's the range project over budget. And I said, I don't know. I'll get back to you. God and John got the good information tonight. So thank you all.
Thank you, Dan.
Here. We're going to be adjourned right now, but we do want to open up for questions or any comments.
Sorry, just a few more things and I'll call the meeting adjourned. Want to thank Debbie Gardner so much. It's her last year on the board, so she'll be leaving. Phone calls whenever I have them. She's been a great secretary for the club, works tirelessly on our member resource guide this year. So really appreciate all of her efforts and thank you so much for your service. John Wall as well, coming to the end of multiple board stints, but this is his latest and probably one of the most important. But the course renovation was also quite important. John puts everything into this club that he's willing to or able to have. He's a very busy man, and he still volunteers a tremendous amount of time for everything that went on. But not only the course renovation, a decade ago, but also this range renovation. It simply wouldn't have gotten done without it. So thank you so much, John.
Once again, our great president, Michael Giuliano.
So with that, we will call the meeting officially adjourned at 7:09, and then we'll open up to member Q&A. Must find your quick comment.
No, just remember Q&A, if you get, email review while we're sitting here, so one is going to be shipped on the new Putting Green, absolutely not, thanks for coming. We realized that vote said Putting Green, but I guess few of our members haven't thought that way, so we have, new signs.
Mike Quigley.
I don't need a mic. I was just asking, when the 2026 golf calendar will be published?
John?
I can take it. It's, so that is going to be approved in the November meeting, which should be released to the membership sometime in the summer.
On the Villas.
So I love our new chipping area. It seems like people are using it as a pitching area. There are tons of pitch marks in that green. I know it heals itself, but the other day I was down in that long area where it used to have the turnaround, and there were just great big divots there where somebody was just doing flop shots. I mean, is it for that purpose? Seems like you'd want to take it to the chipping area.
Don't get me started.
Okay. So,
So, to answer your question, it's gonna be an enforcement rule. That's gonna be the great challenge. But we have all agreed that, I would say the O'Malley boys would come out and we fix divots and fix ball marks. So if Richie's hitting and he makes a ball mark, excuse me 1 second, and I walk in front of him and I fix the ball mark, and I'll get that for you. Hoping to do a passive aggressive suggestion that maybe you should learn to fix your ball marks. So I think hopefully our superintendent's gonna make it a little firmer, and we have to get some education out there, and I'm sure exactly how we're gonna do it, but it's high on the radar list.
And also when we have practice centers in place, and we can really activate that little shortage game chipping areas, it's going to be used to the practice center, including putting an artificial turf area. And we can get members to do their flop shots from that spot out to the range, and where we have appropriate targets out to the range. They won't be as tempted to use the now new old large putting green for flop shots that we use more for chipping.
That's good. I'll also add to that, Kevin and I were having this chat yesterday. We're going to do some lessons based on how you put balance on your club. The balance don't dig, so Kev, go see Kev if you're taking big divots. We're going to work on some clinics here coming up soon.
Actually, I have two comments related to capital. One is like Marty, I was here tonight because I was curious how we're doing budget wise on the range project development delays. I appreciate the update. But as a general rule, we do tend to not be very visible with our capital budget performance. We spend a lot of time looking at operating budgets, operating performance. I think it would be helpful to be a little bit more open. And I know it's not intentional, it's just that we focus on the operations, not necessarily. And now that we have major capital projects, we ought to be spending more time informing the membership on how we're doing, spending $3 million.
That's a really good thing.
So I'm with Marty on that. That's why I came tonight. The other thing is I also heard the comment about the frustration with you can't use the terrace all year long because of wind or rain or sun or whatever. I think that ought to be something in our near future that we take advantage of that great piece of property out there and do something to cover it and use it so that it can be used year round, because we find ourselves using the grill, closing the grill down because they need both facilities that are inside. I think if we had more better utilization of that space out there, the grill could stay open to membership all year long and we wouldn't have to shut it down for a big event. Just my thought.
That's really good. I'll make sure, that we get that fancy on.
So we gotta get the range project done first. But I'm just asking. Comment about, Nancy's comment about the frustration with this space not being fully utilized. I think we can stop that.
Yeah, that's good. We'll get that put on the. Marty?
Well, regarding the range project, we're in phase 2 now, where you said, when is it gonna end? Do you have an idea?
We have ideas, also the phase 2 stuff, which is all the, the concrete, the rebar, the asphalt, all that stuff, is, we hope to have that completely signed off here in about 3 weeks, by the middle of November. The remaining phase 3 is the practice center and the bar. And those are just basically bringing pre-built on site and hooking them up. You know, the electricity is there, the water is there. So it shouldn't take long. We just have to have the city's concurrence that we can move into that phase. And that's the box that we're in. So I'm hopeful that we can get all of those in by the end of the year. The remaining phase 4 is the metal, the new metal maintenance building, you know, basically the barn for all the equipment. And that will go in when we complete the foundation. And you may have noticed there's a bunch of metal out there underneath the solar panels. The building parts, the tanker plate parts show up today. So we have the building on site. We think that pouring the foundation and getting it in is a 2-week effort. So, but that's not really member facing. That's in the yard. Member facings are what's going on the lower lot. You know, completing the material bins, getting the full parking area available for members. That's phase 2. The phase 3 is the practice center and bar. I'm hoping that's it.
Is there an idea of when we might have a practice bunker? A sand bunker that
Yeah.
practice in? Is
When we
that,
can- yeah.
what phase is that?
We took an approach after consulting our experts that the plans that we submitted to the city really should have very few landscaping details on the basis that we're about floodway limited things on our golf course, like what we did down in the bottom gully of number 9. You know, regressing that area. We put in a bunker. We did the first tee box. We did the 7th tee box. So we just want to fit those in when we don't have a whole lot of activity. Inspectors running around. So because it's not quote officially part of the plan.
Next year sometime?
I'm hoping soon for that. I'm hoping during the next 2 weeks. It's not hard to put in a couple of bunkers. So we want to have one on the far side of the range so that you can practice fairway shots into the range, and then another couple up onto the what everybody would prefer to be a chipping green and not a bottom green.
Cool. Thanks, John.
I'm good. John answered that perfectly. Anybody else have any questions on? That perfectly. I just want to say one last point. I think you guys have an amazing group of board members, general managers here, kind of helping out with the team. So, I think everybody gives them a good run of applause, but especially with the construction going on there. As John mentioned, there's 6 agencies out here. You have the fire department, the department, especially inspectors out there. So, you know, through all of that, there's a lot of city promotion, and if you didn't have the team that you have here, we wouldn't be as far as we are right now. So, huge round of applause all for them.
Was protecting the golfers on the 7th. What phase are we addressing that?
That was another strategic kind of thing. We always knew from day one that we had to go to a public. So that's, you know, very bureaucratic, notices to neighbors, all kinds of stuff. We had architectural review, we had the planning commission review, and we got through all of that. Asking for height variances, even though range poles aren't a building, you know, a 3-story or a 4-story condo, comes under the same regulations. We didn't want to give the residents and the owners of the townhomes on the building any kind of possible environment. So we left out the range. We have the bid, we have the firm, we know what we want to do, we just want to do it after we get signed up. So that'll be at 2600. The other thing that we did, which maybe Ryan could talk about for a minute, is we reoriented the range key and the targets in the range to give people hopefully less margin to hit a slice on the 17 balls on 17 averages that we have my observation as a player.
That was pretty much it. We basically took the targets, moved them more left,
That middle target that used to be on the right-hand side was 12 yards from the edge of the fence. I know I can get more than a 12-yard cut, so, which is where, you know, a lot of those balls came from. You know, as our members are starting to use the range, using the targets, the yardage, plates that we have coming that will be on for the bins that are digital, will move every day. I think that's gonna help a little bit, moving forward with some of the balls. So, big thing I'll say is just getting the targets and chances of it getting that far, right? But
budget for the ladies locker room?
I'll take it. So right now, as it sits, it's 200,000 for each locker room. Going into 26, based on what we're kind of seeing, some of the finishes for up here, both of those are gonna need to increase a little bit, so that's what we're working on right now. So probably gonna be somewhere between 3-ish, 350-ish each. Is what it's looking like right now.
Remember at the beginning of the range project, told that we were more than doubling the grass area. And from May through October, when it wasn't raining, we were getting 95% of the time grass. That didn't happen. Why are we hitting on Matt so often? And what's the future like?
So yes, that is the ultimate goal. You know, when you put brand new sod down, one, you need to get it established, two, you need to get it healthy. And that's really what that focus has been since that turf went down the range. Yes, that is still our goal. Our goal is going to be off of maps onto grass, as much as possible. I foresee that being even more going to 26, as we kind of get to those, you know, non-rainy months. And it is more than double. It actually was like, I don't remember, 1,200 square feet. More than double of what we had before. So yes, thank you.
One last quick one. There's a lot of new members in the club. I don't know them all. Are we having a lot of people who use our range who are not members? I just don't know.
Yeah, do you want to take that one or you want me to take that one?
I would say, by implementing a new service, waiting service down there, we have seen a lot less. We're getting about one call per week of someone out of dress code or.
And I'll add a little bit to that. As the new camera system got in, we actually have cameras set up for driving range. And I can't say the word facial rec, but it actually does have some facial rec. So we've had one individual that we probably picked up 3 or 4 times, staff goes down, he's back on property, we'll just call TV and we'll let them take care of it moving forward. But in how future will work is we can identify a single individual and you would be notified. So that's the second outside part of our staff.
What's the board's vision for the interior of this clubhouse?
Steady as it goes.
Steady as it goes.
I mean, we haven't.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take, I mean, the big focus lately has been bathrooms, locker rooms. I mean, that's kind of has been our huge focus. I'll use the word, the direct P word permit. So we started opening up certain other areas. Permits will come into play. And I think right now we're probably shy. I know I am. But yes, that's definitely something as this long range plan is done. I think focusing on those few areas with all the incredible work on, I think that's definitely gonna help us.
So Joe, and everyone else, we did the new bathroom down by the bunker 3 years ago. Our facilities team, that was one of the first things we did. It was pretty much disgusting. Nobody used it. And it's actually nice now. And then we went and we replaced the furniture in the main dining room. You know, the old furniture had seen its end. So we replaced that. Now we're doing the bathrooms over here. We did the bathrooms on the course, which was a big thing. Those were, I've actually had lots of women come up to me saying, I've never used the bathroom before. And I say, why? Because it's so disgusting. And they actually come up now and say, it's really nice. I mean, it's a big improvement over what it was. Is it like the greatest bathroom? No, but it's a bathroom on the golf course. So, but it's much better than it was before. And, you know, and that's the vision we have as a board, is to make, and Bill referred to these as touch points, things you touch. Not everybody, right, not everybody goes in here, but everybody goes in there. Everybody uses that grill room. Not everybody goes in the locker room. You know, not everybody goes in the bathroom, of course, but a lot of people do. So those are touch points that we want to make sure when you go into a facility at this club, that it's nice. And it's not like it used to be. Because when I first came here, that dining room, I said to my wife, if we looked at this dining room and said this was going to make the choice between us joining or not, we wouldn't have joined. It was bad. I mean, that furniture looked like it was in a, I don't want to say it, but it was pretty bad. So we've come a long way. And I know when Dan Kelleher was president, there was a lot of renovations done. The place looks so much better. So that's the vision. The vision is, Joe, for the committee, the facilities committee, to get information and ideas from the members who own the club, by the way, and bring it to the board and let us approve it. That's the vision. It should come from you guys, not us. You guys tell us what you want next, and then we'll implement it. That's how it works. That's how this whole thing should always work, to be smooth.
Council President Standers.
Yeah, I just have something quick to say. Our mission is to have the best golf experience in the East Bay in a family-friendly environment. I think everything that you all have done, including management, this past year has been focused on that. And, I personally, I'd like to thank you, and on behalf of a number of members and friends, I'd like to thank you so much. Bill, thank you for bringing, new perspectives to what we do. Considering we talk about this being a family-friendly environment, I'm afraid I have to leave because my son-in-law's in there right now. We're gonna have dinner. So please excuse me for standing in front of y'all and leaving. Have a good night.
All right, well, on behalf of the entire team, I want to thank the board for all their hard work in the presentation tonight. We can give them a round of applause. Thank you all for coming. Enjoy your evening. I think the bar's still open, and we and Jeff are safe.
Thank you.